Welcome back to our channel, Legal Lounge, where we talk all legal without giving any advice.
And
You forgot about that. You forgot about that. How it went. Huh?
no, I know how it goes, but I think she still said it wrong.
I think
How
I
is it
still
then?
said it wrong.
How
Where
is
we
it?
talk all things legal, but it's not legal advice.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you're only off by like
Where
one
we
word.
all talk. Wait,
It's only taken you like 2 months.
where we talk all legal things, but it's
Oh.
not legal.
Where we talk. Welcome to the Legal Lounge, where we talk
Talk
all
all-
legal, but it's not legal advice.
No,
Where
that was
we
wrong
talk
too.
all things legal,
Okay.
but it's not legal advice.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay, well, anyway,
How
welcome
did
back.
his mess up make you like correct it?
Because I can see it, like my brain sees the letters and the words, and I'm just kind of jumbling them and switching them around. Anyways,
That's crazy. Are you a computer or something? I can't
Insert
do that.
meme.
I can't do that.
you don't do that? You don't see like pictures,
Pictures, yeah, but not words.
but like, how do I say it? Like images
Images,
when you're
yes.
thinking.
So images, I do see. I think in images. I don't see words.
Like I do that a lot when I'm translating English to Japanese, Japanese to English.
But
Like,
do you,
how does that brain...
But do you have an internal monologue or no?
Do you think
Yes.
in Japanese or do you think in English?
English.
Do
So
you
you're
think
like
in
constantly
Spanish?
talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think in Spanish or do you think in English?
You think it's Spanish? I mean,
translate.
that's your native language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's images. It's kind of weird. It's like images in Spanish. I don't know.
Can you describe an example?
So for example, okay, if I'm driving down the road and I think that this car is getting too close to me, I see him like kind of crashing into me a little bit. I'm like, ooh.
In the image?
And I'm like,
Does it say, ay, Dios mío?
yeah, something like that. Should be shangat. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it works like that.
So you don't talk to yourself? Do y'all talk to yourself?
My mom thinks like that too.
I talk to myself constantly in my head.
I don't know. Sometimes I like say random things in Spanish, like the very few words or things that I know.
But in English, do you constantly talk to yourself? Is that what? Do you?
Yes.
Like you never shut up?
No, I can control my voice inside my head. Yeah.
So you have moments where there's nothing, like there's no voice.
Only because I choose to do that.
For me, I don't have a voice normally, and I choose when to have a voice.
No, it's always talking.
Yeah, no.
I read a book that's called The Untethered Soul, and it basically says the people that don't understand that there's a voice that you can control inside your head, you don't realize that there's a sense of self inside of them that they can control.
But I don't think, like, I've heard that a lot. That's like the majority of people, that they just have this voice and
that's it.
it just goes. It goes, right?
I can turn it
Some
off,
people
I guess.
don't realize that
but-
there is a voice in their head, though, and it's separate from
Mhm.
the voice that you project.
Yeah, I guess.
Some people don't know that, though,
But it's like different ways of like
and they
thinking.
can't control it.
Because like right now, it's talking.
Yeah, it doesn't shut up. I know. Yeah,
But the only
Or it's
reason
either singing.
I've heard that before. Yeah, which is so strange to me, because to me it's like I have to, like, for example, if I'm with the doctor, there I have it, because I'm thinking, like, focusing on what do I need to express. Or-
Like what kind of questions do I need to
Yes.
ask? That kind of stuff.
But like right now, or like if I'm relaxed, no, words just come out.
Maybe it's anxiety. I'm always thinking. I'm always worrying about something. So
I
it's
have
always
anxiety,
going.
too.
It's always planning. I think it's more so planning. It's
That's-
always planning.
That's why I had to practice to get to that point. I took like months of like actually like reading and like consciously trying to shut off my brain, basically, and stop that voice that's inside the head. So I did that. I had to like practice it because of my anxiety and stuff like that. I couldn't control it, right? So
But what type of planning is it? Like, is it like
90% of it is work.
So I'm gonna hit this joint. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna say everybody to the floor.
Yeah,
and-
so it's like, okay, how can I do this today? Okay, how can I make this thing better? Okay, what do I need to say to this person? Or like family. Okay, what am I gonna cook today? What does so and so need to do today? What do I need to order today?
But those are conscious thoughts.
But it's constantly
It's
going
not
to the next thing, to the
subconscious,
next
though.
thing, to the next thing.
But it's not subconscious though.
Yeah.
So it's
Kinda.
actually it's technically conscious. You just don't realize it's conscious.
Oh, well, yeah. But I'm like working at the same time. Like I can work and do something what's in front of my computer, but it's planning for other stuff. That's
Oh, no,
why
I
I get
can't do that.
distracted all the time.
I can't do that.
Because it's already moving to the next thing that I do need to focus. And I forget that I have to go back. That's why I keep moving back and forth.
Mm-mm. I can't do that. If I'm doing like one thing, I have to think about that thing.
No, I
just
can
do
do
that
3
thing.
things.
I was that until I realized that that kept on happening to where I would forget something or something. I had to go back to it. So then I like force myself to try and think like that, to where I don't go onto anything. I don't think about anything until I'm finished with the first thing. Because if I don't finish the first thing, I don't have comfort to know that that's taken care of.
I feel like I make mistakes.
Yes.
When I do that, I can't handle it. So I just one thing.
Me too. I started having to do that.
Anyways.
I would love to have an episode about like productivity and psychology and stuff. That'd be so interesting for me.
I think neurology is so interesting. I always thought about diving into that direction.
Neurology, how your brain works, how it
Yeah.
fires into different neurodes
And then
causes
just
you
the
to...
forensic side of it. Because I was criminal justice, I thought incorporating that in forensic science with neurology, I think it's so interesting.
We should have an episode where we talk about criminal law and the psychological behaviors within criminals. Dude, that would be fire. That would be such an interesting topic too.
Because
I would love to
there's
listen to
certain
something
criminals
like
that they have kept their brain to study. I think Jeffrey Dahmer was
Oh
one
my
of
gosh,
Really?
I know what you're talking
I think
about.
so.
Yeah, they like donate their organs
And
stuff.
it was very like underdeveloped.
Well,
Was that him?
No,
was
I don't
another
think it
guy?
was him. But there's a gland, there's a part of your brain that understands emotions, and that's where your empathy and your sympathy. But I think with some criminals, it's super small.
Like the part for emotional processing.
Right. So they have
Interesting.
really no way of
No mechanism.
of like empathizing with certain things, sympathizing. That's why like I feel like Jeffrey Dahmer just didn't care.
So is that genetic? Is that their fault?
I don't know, but
Yes.
you think
They
it's
don't have the
genetic?
capacity for.
They can control their they, okay, hold on. Before I talk out of ignorance.
You
can't
heard what she said?
Say it again.
They don't have like the lobe for empathy.
Not
or
that
is-
they don't
No,
have
it's
they
it.
recessed.
you
It's
have a
not
lobe.
as
It's
like
recessed.
Yeah, but it's
used.
still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still capable.
Or like some people are more left brain than their right brain.
But you're still
like,
capable.
They don't have as much of the critical thinking side, but they do the I don't know what to say it, like more
Creative.
visual, you know.
But you
Yeah.
can learn. You can
Mhm.
learn. You can train your brain.
You can train your brain, yeah.
And I feel like those people, it's not like they don't have it at all. They have it. It's just whether they choose to
It's not
realize it's there or
exercising that
not.
part of the brain.
No, but they're like y'all are. There's people in this world that really do not feel any sort of empathy.
But that's a disorder. There's like a real thing.
Well,
for
yeah,
it.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
But it has nothing to do
it
with
feels like I feel like
the
for you
size
or
of
for
it.
me or for you to talk, it's very alien because we are normal people that do feel those emotions. Imagine feeling like that, like one of those people that literally do not experience empathy. Like how strange would the human experience feel compared
I
to
think
you?
that's why there's a connection too, right, with those serial killers, that if they see early signs of them wanting to like destroy an ant pile or hurt kittens, you know,
the
stuff like
heck?
that.
Destroying an ant pile?
But like out
What
of
the-
like
nobody
just knowing. I mean,
like
I don't.
pouring water down milk.
I'm just starting from something small, and it goes to bigger things. And because
Just talking
Jeffrey
about, like,
Dahmer was like that,
Crushing a toad or something.
right, like he
Something
killed
weird.
animals. You know,
That's how you start in.
right. So like those are kind of things. Like as a normal human, like I almost cried on my way to work the other day because there was a dead kitten on the road,
Every time,
like a baby kitten. I was
every
so
time-
sad.
every time I run over something like that, I do get like a sinking feeling in my stomach.
Right.
And then it passes.
And
But
some
sometimes
people
I
don't
don't.
have that.
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah. I mean, but that's
That's one-
desensitization.
right.
Like if you were to actually like stab a kitty, you would feel bad.
That is a terrible picture to paint in my head.
Right. But see, like for
That you
some
have
people,
a kitty. How could you even say that?
I know it's blasphemy.
You must be insensitive to your emotions.
no, because I have two cats
How?
too.
That was a joke. But never mind. Just
You got me.
But like I said, I think it's interesting when scientists keep that and study it and see how their brains.
Differ.
I love
Yeah.
scientists. I think science is so interesting. Science is one of the most like interesting things that I enjoyed in school. I think I liked science the most. Speaking of science, the one thing that I remember like as a kid also, enjoying science a lot, and I think this was my idea. Now that I like actually thinking about it, I think it was my idea, and I like told my grandma that I wanted to go to the science museum, and my best friend came with me, and we went to the science museum. It was cool. It was like crazy. They had like wind tunnels, and you could get selected to go inside the wind tunnel as a test, and they selected me out of like a group of kids and stuff. It was super cool, and he like used me in the demonstration, and it was really cool. And then I remember another thing too is they had like different like events. You know how the museum here has like a bunch of different like events, like they have the dinosaurs and they have the galaxy and stuff. So there they had a Mythbusters one. And they had a bunch of different activities that you could test, and it was like an actual Mythbusters exhibit. And it was really cool. There was like things like there was playing cards that you would throw at like a slice of pizza or a wall or something like that, and you had to get it to stick in the wall. And there's like a certain way to throw it. So I like learned how to throw cards and stuff. And then there was this other thing that was like two like lanes, and one was, or it was sprinkling water through both of them, two lanes. And one person you had to test running, and one person you had to test walking. And walking gets less wet.
Yeah.
Because you don't run into the droplets if you're running.
I don't know. I was too young to probably like fully
I think like
comprehend it, but
just depending on how much it's raining, how it's coming down, you're more likely to hit.
think
a lot
of
of
a,
that.
think of
If you're
holding
running,
a bucket,
I
Yeah.
see.
a bucket sideways, and the hole is like here, right? And the bucket, you go inside, right?
yeah.
And going slow like this
I guess that makes
versus
sense.
like this.
Yeah.
You'll probably catch a lot more like this than slow like that. That's the best way I could think of it to visualize
I mean,
it.
you can get to the other side quicker
Yeah.
and stop
Quicker,
the rain
but-
quicker, I
But
guess.
you're testing a variable that's not related to the wetness.
Yeah.
You're testing time, speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which what matters is wetness.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun. That was funny that I remember that, and then I figured that it would tie in today's episode too.
Yes, thank you for the segue, because we are doing the Mythbuster episode today, where certain things that you would feel like it's a true statement or it's an actual legit law, it's probably not. That it's a Mythbuster, or it's a myth. Sorry, not a Mythbuster. So we're gonna bust a myth.
I'm the Mythbuster today.
So the first one, you can get one free phone call after you've been arrested. False? True?
I think
Well, I guess
it's
we're not guessing. That's a myth.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad. Let's start over. So this is all a myth. So a myth is you get one free phone call after you've been arrested, which is a myth because there's no federal right guarantees a free phone call. In Texas, some jails will allow it, but it's just a policy, not a law.
It's a
I didn't know that.
courtesy.
It's a courtesy to
You
let
get a
you.
courtesy call though.
Yeah, but
They don't have to.
yeah, they can just say nah.
No.
What if it's
Not
your
you.
attorney though?
Well, you yes.
Then it turns legal.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
you
you
can
will
ask-
just remain silent. You
You could
just won't
trick
say
'em.
anything. It's like, I'll just wait for my attorney. I'll wait for my attorney. And they're probably just be like, okay, well, go call your attorney
Mhm.
so we can get this going.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's not a
But
thing.
people like call their mom or their dad
Yeah.
from like Brandon, like,
Tip
Mom,
number
I got
1.
arrested.
If you're in this situation, you have the right to remain silent.
Do it.
And if you stay silent, they'll probably get annoyed with you and let you call anyways. But I'm not an attorney, and that is not legal advice.
I would freak out. I would call my husband immediately.
It's recorded though,
What is the phone calls? I know. Yeah.
unless it's with the attorney. It's recorded.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, it won't record
It will record.
if it's your attorney?
If it's your attorney, it will still record,
But
but
legally, they can't use it against
Correct.
you
an admissible
because
in
it's
court.
court. It's what's it called? Something client attorney.
Client attorney
Privilege?
privileged, but it will still record.
Oh, I did
It
not
just
know
can't be
that.
used. But yeah,
Interesting.
that's how they caught. That's how they catch some guys. That's how they get 'em, because they think, oh, no, this line's not recorded.
Yeah.
And it is, and they be talking to their girlfriends, telling,
I know.
"Oh, baby, they got me. They got me. Go hide the money that I stole the other day."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb. Like, you would think that, and they're listening. They're gonna decipher those calls. No. Imagine doing that job.
Is that fair? Well, I guess it is fair. You give up your freedom when you commit crimes.
Mm-hmm. So the second one, if police do not read your rights, your Miranda rights, the charges will get dropped.
Not true.
That's a myth.
Because typically, I think they read them to you when you get to the processing facility, too.
Well, Miranda affects admissibility of your statements, not the charges. So they still have to read your rights,
No.
but that doesn't mean that they're going to drop it just because they forget to read it to you.
And I'm sure you can prove if somebody knew what basic rights they have. If, if the police isn't forcing you to do anything, I mean, how can you prove that your rights were violated? Nobody forced you to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to force you to stay silent either.
I know. I learned a hard lesson when I got into an accident. I immediately admitted fault, and I probably shouldn't have. But I literally went up to the police officers like, I take full responsibility.
Oh, you felt
It's a good
guilty.
thing.
And it probably wasn't my fault because, like, processing it after it all happened, because at that moment I was in total shock. Like, my adrenaline was, like, super high. So, but it probably really wasn't my fault, but I took the fault anyway.
If you felt like it was your fault, it was probably your
Well,
fault.
the problem is the side that, this is the accident I got last year. The side that I got hit was not part of the car that was in there. So, okay.
I remember this accident.
I think I remember it too.
Right, because it was
We made a diagram.
it was on
about
a
this
T
accident.
intersection,
Yep.
and I was right here, and my car on my right side got hit. Even though the guy was coming, my left side should have gotten hit, but my left side was completely untouched. He hit my right side because he swerved and ran into me.
Why did he swerve?
I don't know.
Probably because of you.
But there was a car on the other side. He didn't hit them, so it's not like I was super out of the way. I was not in the middle of the road.
Not like I was super out of the way, just a little out of the way.
How many accidents have you been in?
15. Jesus.
Like, serious.
I have a close friend of mine that's on his like third or fourth car
Oh, because of
that
an
I grew up
accident?
with. Yeah, I'm gonna meet him in Florida, but
Just like total collision, total loss after total loss.
I think so. And,
Insurance must be like
he just
4K a
he just
month.
told me that he recently got into another one,
Oh my god.
and he hasn't said it to anybody in our friend group because he's trying to beat the bad driver allegations.
Oh my god.
So how many?
So the first one, that was my fault. I hit and back up someone's trailer hitch. I wasn't paying
Ooh,
attention.
those do damage.
Yeah, it busted my radiator. That one totaled. I didn't claim it on the insurance.
Oh, you're crazy.
'cause
They
I was like,
totaled that.
fuck it. Yeah. So that was one. And then I got one back in 2019. That was not my fault. Somebody rear-ended me. And then this last one last year. And then this year it was not a car accident. A tire flew into my car. So that's not an accident. But I still don't have my car.
Okay.
Hopefully I get it back
You're
today.
missing one though. You
Am
told
I?
me.
Which one? I had one way back. No, that wasn't my fault either. Somebody ran into me and I just took off.
What about a long drive that you did from?
Oh, that's not an accident. That's just, mishaps.
I wanna be
Don't
vague about it.
don't because I
Is
think
it?
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
don't think it's good to include
That's why
on
I'm vague. That's why
public
I'm vague.
media.
I've had
Okay.
multiple of those.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. That's why my rims were bad. Not my BMW though. Because I cannot afford to mess that one up.
Yeah. The tire just comes flying, nails your windshield. That is crazy, bro. That's my worst fear. Is
Well, it didn't nail my windshield. It just busted my front bumper.
it would have bounced. It would have went inside your car if it hit your windshield.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I swerved. I did. But the tire was in the other lane. And then this pickup truck hit it. Did not care.
Wait, so you swerved?
I swerved because it was coming towards me. But it hit me anyway. There's no way on 99 we're going like 70 miles an hour.
No way you're dodging it.
No.
See, but if you would have went like 90 miles per hour, you would have dodged it.
Yeah, but you're not
Drive
supposed to do
faster.
that.
No. Right. That would have been illegal. Anyway, next myth. The victim must press charges for a case to move forward. That is false. Only prosecutors decide to pursue charges. For an instance, like family violence, the DA can continue to go ahead and press charges without the victim. I hear this a lot in like family law cases to where they had a dispute between the husband and wife, and the wife calls the police for domestic violence, and then the husband gets arrested. But then turn around, oh, I want to drop the charges. Nothing happened, I'm fine. But there's nothing she can do because if the police decided that there was enough evidence that there was a domestic violence and somebody needs to be charged for it, DA won't drop it unless the DA decides to go ahead and drop the charges. Like the wife can't make the court drop it just because she said that she doesn't want to pursue. The DA will still pursue.
And this does vary depending on your county, right? Or the DA is over.
It's over a county.
Is it just one county, or are they over?
There's
like,
a DA
multiple?
for every county.
Okay, cool. So the DA for Harris County could be different from a DA from another county.
Well, it could be different all of
Because
them.
they treat them like all of those things differently. I know specifically in Harris County that the DA, like, that doesn't like fit for like Harris County's DA, because sometimes they drop stuff that shouldn't be dropped, and then they don't drop stuff that should be dropped. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to certain DA offices, depending on how they do things and stuff. But that's interesting.
Yeah. Another one, you have to talk to police if questioned. That is false. You can remain silent. We kind of talked about that. It is protected by your constitutional rights. So you do not have to talk to police just because they're asking you to talk about what happened, especially if you get pulled into questioning, if there is a crime.
Building a case.
Yeah, you do not have to talk to the police. I think that's one thing. Go watch back the episode we did with Haley. She's one of our criminal attorneys. She did 100% say do not talk to the cops, no matter what.
And it's not a matter of like you can't trust the cop. It's just a matter of when it comes to law, there's certain things that can or will be used against you.
Right. And
which
I think
is part of the Miranda rights, but that's after you get arrested, after you get questioned.
And I think a lot of times they incriminate themselves without knowing that they did that. Like they say a statement that made it look like you did it, and they'll twist the words around to make it look like you confessed to a crime that you weren't trying to confess. But
or sometimes it's not even like, because if you do the crime, you do the crime. It is what it is. If you're telling yourself this is what it is. If you decide to lie about it, that's up to you too. But some people will say things that make it look like it, and they set themselves up to get like set up for that.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Incriminated, right? They incriminate themselves on something
or a false confession.
Yeah, they never did it. Or they never did something, but they get like pushed to do something,
or
manipulated, or
about it.
It depends.
And there are certain trainings that police do have to go through for interrogation just to do that, just to try to get them a statement of confession.
Yeah, it's more so like those types of that stuff's not used for like normal people. The interrogation stuff, because there's courses and there's stuff like that, but not everybody does them. And a lot of it you have to do on your own. But a lot of people don't do it on their own. That's why there's a lot of uneducated people. But I have like a personal experience with people that are in that field. And when it comes to education, the reason why they do things a certain type of way in the right way is because of stuff that they've actually learned on their own through, what are those things called? Like extended education courses, like things like that. Because in the academy, sometimes they don't teach you how to do that stuff. And the reason why instances like that happen where you have a cop that doesn't know what he's talking about is because they were never really like trained. They got ahead of themselves because they think they know, but they don't know, and they're not careful, and then they end up, getting themselves in trouble on body cam and stuff. So it's like, but that manipulation and that side of things comes from the ignorance of not knowing, like how to go about those situations. So that's where you'll encounter the people that are like trying to set you up for something you didn't even do. I got in a car accident, and the person that was at fault was a police officer.
Oh, really?
Yes. Off duty. And
They try and
They
pull
were-
rank with you.
yes. Yeah, they did actually. And I have a personal relation with somebody very close to me that I'm not gonna say like what my relationship is. But at the time they weren't just like a regular, they were in a specific unit. And so the way the situation was tricky was I was behind the person that hit me. I was behind them, but they still hit me. Right? So it could have looked like I just rear-ended them.
Oh, but they just bumped on the brakes.
No, they reversed into me
Oh.
at a light. Stopped.
Mm.
They were the first person in the light. I was the second. We were the only two people. They reversed into my car to try and get into the left lane to turn into the Whataburger parking lot. And then they were trying to like, so I called, and the person that showed up was like saying, okay, well, do you want to file a police report or not? And I'm like, what do you think you're here for? Like, why would I call the police if I didn't want it documented? Right? Because if I don't get it documented, then that other person could technically fight.
Did the off-duty cop say it was my fault?
He did, but they were pushing towards not doing the police report. And so I felt overwhelmed, and I had my friend with me because we were about to go to like a little like house get together, house party type of thing. The one that he lived across from me. And yeah, so I called my personal contact because I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do here. And that personal contact showed up and kind of like made them look silly because of like how they were approaching it. And they were like trying to be like condescending to me. They're like, okay, well, you're like an adult, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, so why do you need this person to like come? And I'm like, why don't you just like be quiet? I just sit here and wait. And so they did that, and then I ended up like still filing a police report, even though they were kind of pushing me towards not. I'm like, dude, I needed to document
You're
it.
supposed to do that. If
You
it's not your
should.
fault,
You should.
especially.
You should, because if not, because for instance, let's say I try to file it with my insurance, and they reach out to his insurance, and his insurance calls him, and he's like, no, he ran into the back of my car, but he reversed into me. He had like 2 kids in his car, which like I get it, but it's like, bro, stop trying to pressure me into not doing a police report just because I don't know if it does anything to them, but it felt like they were like
It's
trying
because
to
it's
just
a lot of
brush it
paperwork
off
and they don't want to deal with it because they have to go back and do their paperwork on
and
their
I, and I think
their
that's
end.
why my contact made him look silly, because it's like, bro, like, do your job basically. And so yeah, always try to get a police report if you are not at fault, because that gives you more evidence and more of a claim that you're telling the truth in a situation where they could easily flip something on you, and then you can't get your
So you just call 911.
yeah, call 911, and then you report the accident, and then they'll be there anywhere from, I don't know, 20 minutes to an hour.
Depending on how severe it is.
Yeah, I mean,
If no one's hurt, they'll take their time. But
Yeah.
if somebody's hurt, obviously they'll be there, immediately. But Okay, next one, which I think is interesting. Undercover cops have to admit they're police if asked. That's a myth. No law requires disclosing during undercover work, which I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like if you're asked, like, are you a cop? They don't have to say it if they're doing a job, if they're doing the undercover work.
No, it's obvious.
Yeah,
It's like
it is obvious.
it's like, yo, you a
you were
cop?
just
Nah,
asking,
bro.
oh,
Nah,
you
fam.
wearing a wire? Oh, you wearing a wire?
Nah, man. I'm like totally hood, man. I totally. Yeah, we got him. Send in the report.
Next one, you can't be arrested for refusing to show ID, which is a myth. It
Whoa.
depends on the context. You must ID yourself if lawfully detained or arrested, which you can be arrested for false identifying yourself.
And
So
if you don't have ID, you have to give out your name and social security number and date of birth.
Mm.
You have to identify yourself.
unless you're detained, can they detain you for not having an ID in
Exactly.
a situation where like there may have been a crime
Oh,
committed?
for sure. Yes, they can.
But if you're driving a vehicle and you don't have an ID,
That's fine.
no, because you need a valid.
Yeah, you can't drive without an ID anyway. That's against
But
the law.
I don't think that's. Would they give you a fine for that? I
Yes.
just left it at home. I left my wallet at home. Here's
No,
my first
They're
name.
gonna
and
ask you for your driver's if you know your driver's license number.
and you're not supposed to drive without a license, so they will ticket you.
But I feel like
They
that
may.
refers to like actually having it or not you in person. Yeah?
Yes. Don't leave it at home.
As long as you know. See, I have mine memorized.
What, the number?
Yeah, the
I do
driver's
too.
license
What is it?
number.
Just so to see if it's true.
Can you turn my audio off?
Oh my God. No, that's so
Yeah.
dumb.
It's off.
Okay. It's I know it off the top of my head. Okay. 123 That's not real. But I do know it. You should know it. Just in case. If you leave your ID at home, you just give them your number.
And
Name,
some cops may
number.
be easy.
Yeah, I mean,
for
if,
you.
if it comes back clean or something, then it's cool. If
Right.
you're on probation or you're not supposed to be driving or stuff like that, you might catch a boot, bro.
Yeah, but you should always have it for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Next one. Police can't lie to you during interrogation, which is false. They absolutely can. Cops can use deception during questioning, and it's legal. That's what we were just
Lies
talking
or
about.
deception? 'Cause
Probably
those are two different things.
deception.
Deception. I don't think you can lie.
we
but
got you
can,
on camera.
You can.
They say that type
Oh,
of
No,
stuff.
but
yeah, they
there's
do.
specific, bro. They're specific.
that's a
because those
lie.
people are trained. They're trained.
lie.
No. They may have them on camera, but they may not specify what they have on camera.
No, I think they
so
can
then they
say that.
spill
It could be this camera.
No, it's a tactic. Yeah,
but that's
right.
part of a tactic
It's a
too, though.
tactic.
Hey, we got you on camera, so might as well you tell us who did it.
But it's not a lie.
But that is a lie. What
It's
if there's
deception.
absolutely no camera and you know it yourself?
They
There's
don't do
nothing-
that.
They can do that.
Wow.
They say
They
all
could
the
do
time.
that.
They say, "Oh, we got you on fingerprints. We got hair analysis.
Mm-hmm.
We got you, man." So who's your accomplice?
Right. They're not saying that this is a physical evidence. They're not in court. You know, they're just saying that out of their ass to just get you to say, because they know.
That would be illegal.
So,
that
like-
would literally
It's
be
not illegal.
It would be.
No, it's not.
Dude, I swear.
So, like, for example, I always like watching body cam videos on YouTube, right? So this guy in Florida got arrested for hot checks, cashing in checks. He was supposedly doing it for somebody who he just happened to meet, and they told him to cash the check, right? And the check is fraud. It's somebody else's account. Somehow they acquired it. They put $1,000 or whatever. They told this dude to go cash it in. Well, he's been in there multiple times, so the bank teller flagged it and was like, hey, this is fraud, I need the police to come, whatever. So they detain him, they're questioning him. He gives like 5 different stories, and the police is getting like frustrated, like, bro, like, we already got you. It's on camera. Just come on. Like, who gave you this check? But he says that, which he can't honestly 100%. Well, I'm just saying in words. I don't know if that was exactly the way he said it.
No, it
but
sounds like it's like in the situation that you played. I don't think that's technically illegal, But the thing is that I know that they do, because I watched the videos of like the psychology behind investigators and like
I see those, so I eat them
they're
up.
good.
I go to sleep
They're
with
good,
those.
bro. But it tells you about the psychological
Yeah,
games that
I
they
know it.
play and
I
the
know.
deception.
In
But
an
they never,
interrogation,
yes, but they never technically, but they play around these technicalities a lot. They never technically lie. They just set phrases up
nah, they
to
do
make it
lie.
deceive.
They do lie though. They be like, "We got you for 20 years, man. Might as well just start talking."
If they
Man.
had them, they would already book them.
That's what I'm saying. Like you as a criminal, you should be able to identify that. Like, why is this guy going so hard on me on the interrogation if he already got me? Why is he talking to me?
Well, because
Because there's further details and
right, because the
cases.
majority of the time they're just trying to get the ringleader for like that guy with the check.
Oh, but
You
it
know,
happens for crimes that you're the only one to.
higher charges will be put against somebody who actually wrote the check, not the guy who cashed it. So they're trying to get him off easy and get him an easier charge.
So that could be a whole like bust,
right,
like fraud,
just
like a whole
like
team of
drugs,
people
right?
that
If you get arrested for possession of cocaine or whatever, you want to find out who distributed the cocaine, rather than just some random guy that's on the street that got a little bit of cocaine.
it's like chasing the cheese, bro.
Right.
You know, like one leads to another, and then he leads to another, and then it
Right.
leads to the giant hole in the floor,
which
and then
could
the
be
hole in the
Pablo
floor-
Escobar in Colombia, and but that guy on the street got one of their cocaine that they
and then it gets passed
created,
up
whatever.
through like the levels of the enforcement.
So he may get off with no charges because, hey man, you got me the big guy, you got me the boss.
Or they'll work with him and basically
right.
give him they'll take off a charge or something.
Yeah.
You know?
So instead of a felony, maybe it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like they
The only
do
reason-
do that a lot.
Yeah, the only reason I was so like adamant about like it's not technically a lie is because they're not superior to anybody else. So they couldn't just do that because that would go against all court of law practically. They can't just lie to get stuff because then it's like unethical.
I think they can lie though.
They play technicalities.
I
It
think they
seems
still
like
can lie.
it looks just like a lie.
I think they fluff it to
Yeah.
be like
it's like tactics.
it
You-
is a
you have to just-
lie, but the way they word it made it not seem like a lie.
Technically is.
So maybe that's how they get away with it. That's
Because these
probably
people
what
are
it
like
is.
fully trained in like deceiving criminals, which is making them feel like they trust them, but in reality, you're catching them in the lie. I love those videos though. I'll sit there and watch them for like 45 minutes.
I go to sleep.
And then they'll like it'll have like the voiceover that explains like the tactics that they use.
Do
you
we
know?
watch the same channel?
I don't know.
Wait, the ID channel? We watch that on and go to sleep.
I don't know the channel. I just click on the
It's
video.
like CS, criminal psychology.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
no.
the
Yeah,
one.
right?
Not
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always like the camera footage in the room and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
and then he pauses it and he gives his own like and he's like,
yeah.
What?
He's good. That was good.
That's funny. Okay, so another one. You can't refuse a breathalyzer test. That's false.
True.
No, this is a myth. People say like, "Oh, you can always refuse it."
No, you can't.
You can refuse it. You can refuse it, but there are
You're
consequences.
gonna go to jail.
You will it will be an automatic jail, but they will do the blood test instead.
Oh.
but in Texas it's different, right? Because there's no refusal weekends for breathalyzer, correct?
I don't know.
I've seen-
There is a
I've
no.
seen-
I think
yes,
so.
There's a no refusal. There's no refusal in Texas.
Probably like major holidays, maybe. Like 4th of
think-
July is coming
I
up.
think that's a no refusal
Yeah.
weekend. There's another one. I thought. Is it Memorial Day weekend?
Oh, and it's a Friday.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a long weekend.
Yeah.
Let's go.
When?
4th of July.
It's Friday.
I'm taking off Thursday, by the way, guys. So we come Thursday, Friday.
Long ass weekend.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nice, right?
I wish my Florida
That's
trip
like
was
the
on
best-
4th of July,
That's
dude. I
like
would have
the
had
best
like a.
day it could have been, bro. Or Monday.
I know. I hate it when
A Monday
holidays
would be
land on a
cool.
weekend because we don't get a day off. I know.
Well,
Let me see Christmas.
that's crazy. What's the next one?
He's already ahead. Okay, so next one. If someone go ahead.
This 24 is a Wednesday and 25 is a Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay, so next one. If someone breaks into your home and gets hurt, you're liable.
No.
Right. It's false.
He might get shot too.
Trespassers generally have no legal protections.
It's like kicking a man when he's down, except he just gets shot when he's down.
In Texas, castle doctrine and liability laws protect homeowners in most cases. But remember what Haley said in that episode, that they have to legit step foot into your home before you get your shotgun.
Yeah.
That's
They
okay.
can't just be outside.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I would just
Just
walk.
imagine,
what
bro.
happens if you walk outside though?
I've seen
I would just meet him outside. Because at that point, if he rushes at you, then you do it anyways. Why wait until he comes in and you close the distance?
because
Go outside and
technically he hasn't committed yet. And that's what Haley was saying. Like, you can't get him for breaking in when he hasn't stepped foot inside your home or breaking in. You can't just shoot him. Because, yeah, he may be inside your property.
But you could feel threatened if he runs at you and something gets close enough, and then you pop him.
And you remember when she said to a guy with the plunger? You remember that? That was his weapon, was a plunger.
Yeah, that's wild, low key.
But he was kind of out.
No, yeah, you gotta be off Earth to
Mhm.
do that one.
Yeah.
Hey, it depends on the plunger, bro, because if you have...
Because I seen one at HEB gas at the
No,
HEB
no, wow.
bathroom the other day, and it was crazy, bro. You could have killed.
No. What I'm about to say is, like, they had the ones that had the wooden sticks.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know, like them classic wooden brooms? You telling me that wouldn't hurt if you just full swung it? That's a concussion, bro.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
It depends on which
That's a
side
night-night.
which side he was using. Was he using the rubber or the wood?
Or if it was used or not. That's an additional charge. If it's like brand new.
Brand new or
Yeah.
used. Oh.
Brand new side. You know?
Next one. You can't record the police officer in public.
False.
That's false. Yeah. As long as you don't interfere, it's legal. And recording is legal in public, but secret recording is restricted. Which I
so you
also
have to
didn't
be
know.
open about it. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, camera. Blah, blah,
I want to learn more about the drone laws.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's
What
not
about
true.
the Meta?
I was just about to
Meta
say
Ray-Ban
that.
glasses.
The glasses.
Mm.
That's
Well,
not
it has
true.
the light, right? But it's kind of secret, and you can cover it up.
That is kind of secretive.
The Meta.
It
Ray-Ban
is for
glasses.
sure, and I don't think it's. I've seen a lot of different videos. Like people don't, they're not like out and recording. They're like trying not to get caught recording.
What
Because
about
it's
drone?
like if it's public, if you're free to do it publicly, why would you need to hide it?
I think drone has like other specific laws as to where you can record and where you can't, I think.
If everybody can see you recording and it's okay, why is it an issue if nobody sees you recording?
I guess because people act different if they know they're being recorded.
You see those videos all the time too. Oh, you
The
can't, don't record me. You don't have my
Yeah.
permission.
Yeah.
Don't record
And then the
me.
security, the officer comes and is like, ma'am, technically you
Public
can't do
property.
anything. It's public
Yeah.
property,
Property.
so
Can't
they
do
have the
anything.
right to record.
Yo.
Or they like purposely put your phone in your face that they're
Or
recording.
they record you back.
That happened to
and stuff.
me. I don't think I've talked about this, but I may have talked to y'all about it. My husband so when they were building our
Oh
amenities.
my God, you had a Karen moment?
Yeah. So they were building our amenities. My husband has a drone. It's a really nice drone. And he had it up for our neighborhood.
Oh.
So he put his drone up to see the progress of how it was doing, because he would typically like edit it and post it on our Facebook page for the neighborhood page. And then people would be like, oh, thank you for the update. Yeah, whatever. So we went there during
What
the
is
day.
amenities? Sorry.
So, like,
Pools,
yeah.
parks, splash pads,
Right.
things
in
that
y'all's,
are
like
Yeah,
community.
neighborhood.
things are
Right.
added
Okay,
into.
okay.
They have apartment amenities and then neighborhood amenities.
So anyway, it was during the day, and he had it up, and we were on the parking lot, whatever. I was pregnant at the time, and he,
Hotels have them too.
yeah, so the construction workers were there working on the amenities at the time. And as he was doing the footage and, he's recording, he's seeing something fly by the drone. He's like, wait a minute, what is that? And so there's this guy on the ground throwing rocks at his drone, right? My husband instantly pissed. I was like, well, maybe he'll calm down. So he just kind of like left and just kind of like circle around and taking footages of other areas. And so then the dude that was throwing the rocks found our car, walked up to us and be like, hey, you're not supposed to record who you work for. And he's like, bro, I live here. Like, I'm just checking the progress. Like, what's the issue? No, who you work for? Like, he dead sworn that we were like a competitor or something to see like
Them crazy people that think that they're being
that
surveillanced by
everyone's
the
out to get
government.
them.
Yeah.
Like one of
like,
those people.
They have
that-
like little audio things stuck in their couch. They're like ravaging through their home trying to find secret cameras.
right. And
It's
then
like one
he
of those
instantly
guys.
took the phone out, right, and started recording. And I like instantly like, I'm gonna call my boss. And he's like, go ahead. I live here, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I don't work for anybody. I live here.
I would have no hesitation to troll that guy so bad. I couldn't help it.
Yeah,
And then my husband
work
didn't care.
for-
He just, still like moved his drone. But he told him, I said, if you hit my drone, I'm gonna knock you out.
Don't
Hell
say that
yeah.
on camera.
So
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
That's
he
true.
said that.
yes, allegedly. But I mean, we left just because we didn't want to deal with the guy anymore. He eventually left, but he was so quick to pull his phone out to record. But it's like,
You know what I would have done?
what are you
after that?
recording?
You know what I'd have done? Just go get a little RCXD car.
And just drive it around.
Or do one of those things where you put something inside of it and it's like one of those, like a pen where it's like signed for, an agreement, like a sign to do a truce. And but the pen that you put in there is actually a shocking pen.
Oh my god.
So it just get shot. Do something like that, or some type of like exploding. So I don't know. I would just do something with an RC car and just fuck with it. That would be so funny, bro.
He kick it.
He would try to.
Yeah.
Then he'll try to kick it, and then he'll slip and fall.
Mm. But yeah, that was the moment of like, okay, you're doing too much. And he has not taken out his drone
Ever since?
ever since. Yeah,
You got traumatized.
I know.
That's so sad.
And then like, I don't know, people in the neighborhood were complaining about the amenities and he just got tired of it, even though it's not his fault. So he was just like, I'm not doing this no more.
Or come up with some creative tool where
Yeah,
it's like
people just ruin.
the press of a button, it releases like fucking silly string.
you
Start
go.
spraying silly string on his driveway.
Let's see. I think we can do one more. Let's see. A verbal argument isn't enforceable in court, which is false. Many verbal contracts are valid unless it falls under the statute of frauds like real estate. It can be enforceable. Oh, I'm sorry. Verbal agreement. Did I say argument?
You said argument.
I meant a verbal agreement isn't enforceable, which I thought it wasn't enforceable, but I guess many verbal contracts are valid.
Yeah.
I would just make sure to get a written agreement still down, though.
Because it must be hard to prove, but that's cool that verbal agreements are like, think about how much stuff is like put on the line over verbal stuff, you know?
No, it's true.
So, like, what if, like, oh, you owe me $1,000?
I
We
knew you
agreed
were
on
gonna
it.
bring this up. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, dang, I
We-
don't
we
want
agreed
I
on
want to
this.
pay people.
No, it's more so I
Damn.
didn't want to put my friend in that like position.
I didn't say what it is.
But I'm like low key. I'm like, he did have a verbal agreement. And then
Now I know I can sue his ass.
4,000,
I'ma get
5,000.
him to court.
I can get a whole new bike, bro. I don't know. Nah, I'm just
Go to
playing.
court. But yeah,
crazy. That
those are
makes sense.
some myths that people hear all the time. I've heard some. The one that surprised me the most is a free phone call. I really thought you could get that, and as soon as you get there, yeah. But it's not a right; it's a privilege. But anyways, if you have any other questions that you may have, hopefully you guys don't run into these issues, but just to prepare yourself, if you think that it's a myth, give us a call and find out if it is a myth or not. So you can get your questions answered and prepare in case something was to happen, or if you have a loved one that gets into a situation, it's just a sticky situation with the police officer, then please give us a call. We do have a free 30-minute consultation with an attorney or an ambassador. So yeah, give us a call. Thank you guys. See you next week.
See you later.
Thank you for watching another episode of Legal Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode, you can always give our office a call to schedule your free 30-minute consultation with one of our team members. Check the description below and give us a call today.